TVC, the brand you trust.
As we come very close to the end of this package, it's important to put a few beautiful things together. So far, you have learned all about letters, personality development, and public speaking. Today, we have combined a detailed study about idioms, some of which you've already gone through in Sentence Bar, and a collection of famous proverbs. Do you remember these? Don't count your chickens before they are hatched. Better safe than sorry. It's no use crying over spilt milk. The grass is greener on the other side. Proverbs, known in Hindi as a muhavra, are famous sayings collected over the years. It expresses a truth based on common sense or the practical experience of mankind. They are often metamorphical. I'm sure you'll be able to make the best of this VCD. So, have fun.
Hello friends, I'm Indu. I'm here to help you add sugar and spice into your speech. We are going to talk about idioms and proverbs. What is an idiom? How is it different from a proverb? An idiom can be one word or a phrase which may not mean anything by itself, but when used in context, it makes the sentence interesting. A proverb is a wise saying or expression which can be used to make a point, warn, or advise someone by comparing one situation with another imaginative one. Don't count your chickens before they are hatched. Let us do a proverb that many of you have already heard. I'm sure there is a version of this proverb in your language too. Your grandmother asks you, "What do you want to be when you are older?" And you say, "I want to be an astronaut. I want to be Bill Gates. I want to be a rock star." And your grandmother replies, "Don't count your chickens until they are hatched." It means you can dream of something, but do not be sure until it actually happens. Not all the eggs will hatch to become chickens. Meaning, don't depend on a future event. What if it does not happen at all? If you want to warn somebody not to depend on something entirely, then use this proverb. Don't count your chickens before they are hatched. Don't be too sure. It might not happen after all. For example, when I win the jackpot in the lottery, I will buy a house, a car, and a gold watch. It sounds great, but don't count your chickens before they are hatched. You might think the new boss will give us all a raise, but don't count your chickens before they are hatched. I will finally be able to pay you back that loan next month. Haha, I don't count my chickens until they are hatched. We go on to the next one, blind as a bat, meaning have bad eyesight. Bats are mammals that fly at night and hang upside down during the day. They are not blind. All bats can see, even in the dark. This idiom is also used to make fun of a person who can see but still misses the obvious. Without my glasses, I'm as blind as a bat at night. Did you not see my car coming? You must be blind as a bat. You ran into a tree? You must be blind as a bat. The next one is chicken out. To be a coward, to lose your nerve at the last minute. If you chicken out of a situation, you have lost courage. When you're upset with someone for not keeping his promise with you, you say you chickened out. Don't chicken out of the boating trip. We will miss you. You promised to invest. Are you chickening out of the partnership? My fiancé chickened out of the wedding at the last moment. The next one is bookworm. Are you someone who loves books and reading? Then you are a bookworm. Bookworms spend most of their time with books. They devour books like the worms that eat the paper and the gum used in binding books. For example, my son is a bookworm who spends more time reading books in the library than exercising in the gym. After spending a week in hospital with only books for company, I actually have become a bookworm now. The next one is also about an animal, the last straw that broke the camel's back. Unpleasant or tragic events happen one after the other. But finally something happens that breaks the person. He cannot face it any longer. The last event is called the final straw. One can also say the final straw that broke the camel's back. This comes from a story about loading up a camel so heavily that it could not move. When the owner put a single straw on its back, the camel's back broke. The straw was not the reason why the camel's back broke, was it? No, but even a small, insignificant, unrelated event can break our willpower. For example, he lost his wife and business. But one day when his child returned late from school, it was the last straw on the camel's back. He had a nervous breakdown. He did not mind that the house was small and had no ventilation and was noisy. But when he knew there was no water supply, it was the last straw on the camel's back. He refused to buy the house. Birds of a feather flock together. When there is a close-knit group of friends who get along with each other, we often remark that birds of a feather flock together. It means they have similar likes and dislikes. They have the same hobbies, so they are happy to be together. They can be poets, writers, or criminals. Birds of the same type flock together and fly together. People who have the same likes spend time together. For example, all his friends joined the same college and the theatre group. After all, birds of a feather flock together. The models are like birds of a feather that flock together. They go to the same shops. The next one is about the leopard. A leopard cannot change its spots. A leopard is an animal feared by all. He cannot be tamed by man. Can he change his nature? The leopard has spots on his body. Can he change his spots? No. Similarly, we should not expect someone to change his old habits. For example, he is a criminal and he will remain so. You know that a leopard can't change his spots. He is always 2 hours late. You know a leopard cannot change his spots. A bird in hand is worth 2 in the bush. This is good advice for youngsters of today who don't think twice before switching jobs. When you have a good job in hand, why jump into another? It may be lucrative, but the boss may curtail your freedom. You never know. So, does it mean that it is worthwhile to hold on tightly to what you have? That is what this proverb says. It is old age wisdom. If you have a worthwhile project in hand, don't leave it and jump to catch another. If that does not materialize, then you are left with nothing at all. It is amazing that so many idioms and proverbs are based on animals and birds. Yes, we have much to learn from nature. Let us study some modern idioms and proverbs which you can use every day. Piece of cake. Very easily done. We all love cake. A cake can disappear from the plate very quickly. It is as easy as eating a piece of cake. If you anticipate difficulty in doing a job or responsibility, but later it poses no problems at all, it is a piece of cake. It is very easy to do. For example, how was the audition yesterday? Were you selected? Of course, it was a piece of cake. You were so nervous yesterday. How did the presentation go? The client was so impressed. It was a piece of cake. Backfire. Unexpected and opposite result. You plan something with a particular effect in mind. Unexpectedly, the opposite happens. Your plan backfires. The policy to reduce the number of holidays backfired. The employees began to apply for leave more frequently. They planned to marry secretly, but it backfired when her brother caught them together. He planned to cheat her, but his plan backfired when she reported to the police. The bottom line. The most important fact you want to bring to notice. While you're discussing a business deal, the bottom line is what you consider crucial to the deal. For example, the bottom line is you have to match the lowest offer we have received. The bottom line is that our target is the exclusive and elite upper class. The bottom line is that you will speak English in 30 days. Be broke, be flat broke. To have no money at all. If you are broke, you have no money at all. Someone who lives on a tight budget can afford to spend only a certain amount. So usually they cannot spend on extras. I can't buy the gift this month. I'm broke. It is the end of the month and I'm flat broke. I can't buy the wedding dress. I am flat broke. Get cold feet. Suddenly become afraid to do something and become nervous. Not wish to be involved in a very important decision at the last moment. Get out of a difficult or dangerous situation just before the action. On the eve of his interview, he got cold feet and decided not to go. When he saw her father walking into the room, he got cold feet and ran out the back door. The groom got cold feet and ran away 2 days before his wedding. Food for thought. New facts, ideas, information or advice that makes you rethink the plan. When you add more information or give it a different point of view, you need to give it some more thought. It is something for the brain to chew on. For example, the new evidence given by the witness was food for thought to the jury. The success of the Mumbai Dabbawalas gave food for thought to management students. What Mahatma Gandhi demanded gave the British government food for thought. Go nuts. Meaning a person who becomes agitated, excited or angry as a reaction to an event. It is a temporary situation when his reaction is so extreme as to make others think he is insane. Cricket lovers went nuts when the country's team fared miserably in the World Cup. My mother might go nuts if she saw me in these clothes. I know my father will go nuts if he knows I want to be an actor. Grab a bite to eat. Manage to take a few minutes off to eat a small meal. When you are very busy, you have very little time to spare to eat or sleep. So you grab some to eat even as you are working. For example, we have to rush to the office now. We'll grab a bite later. The delegates had barely half an hour to grab a bite between the sessions. Hat trick. If you win 3 times in a row, you have scored a hat-trick. Italy scored 2 goals. One more goal and it would have scored a hat-trick. The minister scored a hat-trick by getting elected for the 3rd time to the same post. The author scored a hat-trick when he won the prize for the 3rd time. Great minds think alike. When 2 people come out with the same idea, they declare that both have the same level of intelligence. It can be a sarcastic or humorous comment by others. For example, it is strange we both bought the same book. After all, great minds think alike. Have you copied from each other? Or do great minds think alike? Be in the same boat. Be in a similar situation or have the same problem as another person. Imagine yourself in a boat. If it capsizes, you might all sink together as you're all in the same boat. All of you face the same problem. If 2 persons are in the same boat, then they are facing the same or similar unpleasant situation. If you are facing water shortage in your building, we are in the same boat. During the partition, both Hindus and Muslims in North India were in the same boat. They all suffered. My child is having the same problem. It looks like we are in the same boat. Hit the nail on the head. A statement made by a person that exactly pinpoints a fact or answers a question. When you hit a nail on the head with a hammer, it is driven exactly to the point it is expected to go. When a group of friends are discussing a problem, one person suddenly gives the exact solution. He has hit the nail on the head. If you say someone has hit the nail on the head, you mean he has given the correct answer. The doctor hit the nail on its head when he diagnosed low blood pressure as the cause of his weakness. The mayor hit the nail on the head by accusing the council of neglect. It is easier said than done. Something that is easy to suggest verbally but difficult to execute in reality. When someone suggests a brilliant solution, but the actual process of doing it may be long and tough, you can say it is easier said than done. For example, just leave your husband and start a new life. That's easier said than done. I have nowhere to go. Punishing the children is easier said than done, as they are too young to understand. Cleaning the city is easier said than done, as the citizens do not care. Be in hot water. Be in trouble because of your carelessness or inefficiency. You are in hot water if you have done something wrong and are answerable for it. For example, he has been in hot water with his boss. He might be fired. His court on the ruling party put the judge into hot water. His regular and long absences have put him in hot water. Kick the bucket. When someone dies, you say he has kicked the bucket. You can use it informally, as it is not exactly a respectful thing to say about the dead. For example, that old bloke upstairs finally kicked the bucket last night. I hope that rascal kicks the bucket soon, then I shall have some peace. My friend has kicked the bucket, soon it will be my turn. Kill time. Do something to keep yourself busy while waiting. When you are waiting for something to happen, you have to pass that time, or you are killing time. You can do nothing useful or interesting at that situation. For example, he killed his time doing the crossword as he waited for his flight. The trains were delayed, so we killed time by playing cards and singing old songs. We kill time watching movies when it rains so heavily that we could not go out. Make ends meet. Have or earn only enough money to survive. If you make ends meet, you have just enough money to survive, not for luxuries. For example, the poor widow worked on her sewing machine to earn enough to make ends meet. He has taken a part-time job after office hours as he found it difficult to make ends meet. Both he and his wife had to work to make ends meet. A picture is worth 1,000 words. A visual is more effective than explaining an event in words. Television channels use visuals to report an event, which are more informative than reading about it in the newspaper the next day. A single photo of the Iraqi prisoner being tormented was worth 1,000 words. The army was guilty. The picture of the pothole in front of the mayor's house was worth 1,000 words. He was clearly failing in his duty. Just draw me a map of the area. It is worth 1,000 words. Variety is the spice of life. The more variety in your life, the more interesting it will be. If you serve a variety of dishes, meet people from different walks of life, read books on various subjects, life will be more interesting and full of spice. When you join college, make sure you take part in all the activities. After all, variety is the spice of life. What is the point in doing the same thing every weekend? Let us do something different. Variety is the spice of life. Variety is the spice of life. So let us go to a restaurant where they serve different kinds of food. You can't judge a book by its cover. Or you can't tell a book by its cover. Appearances are deceptive. If something looks good from the outside, it may not necessarily be good inside. A restaurant may look swanky and inviting, but the food may be bad and tasteless. When you want to advise someone to be careful before making a decision, you can say, don't judge a book by its cover. That beautiful girl is quite dumb. I should not have judged the book by its cover. The house looks so pretty in the catalogue, but I must not judge the book by its cover. The driver looks like an educated and refined young man. But be careful, you can't tell a book by its cover. That plain-looking lady is a famous doctor. Do not judge the book by its cover. Better safe than sorry. Meaning, when you say better safe than sorry, you mean that it is better to be careful than to take risks. For example, have your car checked. Better safe than sorry. Better be safe and lock all the doors than be sorry if a thief breaks in. The early bird catches the worm. Meaning, act early or right now to be successful. If someone says the early bird catches the worm, he or she means that if you do something early or before anyone else, you will have an advantage and be successful. Don't miss the annual sale on Thursday. The early bird catches the worm. Reserve your seats now. The early bird catches the worm. Luckily, I was like an early bird that caught the worm. The best seats at the theatre. The grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. Meaning, when you compare things, other people have, you feel you have less. It may not be true. We do not realize the true worth of what we have. Other people always seem to have a better car or a better house. For example, did you think that the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence? Life here is better than in the West. I thought she was so happy as a single woman and the grass was greener on the other side. But I was wrong. If you envy the rich and famous, they will tell you that the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. It is no use crying over spilt milk. Do not worry about something that has already happened. It is no use being angry over or upset about something that you cannot change. For example, I failed the exam, but it's no use crying over spilt milk. I'll try again. The lamp is broken. Don't cry over spilt milk. We can always buy a new one. Don't look at the mirror and cry over spilt milk. You cannot be young forever. Money does not grow on trees. Do not waste money, or there is not enough money. If someone says money does not grow on trees, it means it is not easy to earn money. So it is valuable and you have only a limited amount of money. You should be careful how much money you spend. For example, be careful and save today for your old age. Money doesn't grow on trees. We have to collect funds for the project. Money doesn't grow on trees, you know. Opposites attract. Like the opposite ends of a magnet attract each other, you can be attracted to someone who is different. This proverb expresses the idea opposite to the idea of birds of a feather flock together. For example, they are so different, but opposites attract, and they have been married for years. She is a city girl and he is from the village. It is true that opposites attract. Raj was everything Ram was not, but opposites attract and they became business partners. The pen is mightier than the sword, meaning words are superior to violence. You can solve problems or achieve your purpose better and more effectively through words than by violence or with weapons. For example, change the world with your pen. It is mightier than the sword. Mahatma Gandhi's pen was mightier than the British swords and forced them to quit India. Use your pen to achieve peace. It is mightier than the sword which will shed blood. Silence is golden, meaning saying or doing nothing is sometimes better when you face a difficult problem. Many situations become worse if you comment or make remarks. It can solve itself easily if you say nothing. I get through difficult situations by not saying anything, as silence is golden. When my mother and wife quarrel, silence is golden. I keep quiet. Sometimes silence is golden when you are questioned by the customs officers. A stitch in time saves 9. This means act now, do not postpone. If you have a problem, sort it out immediately. If you wait, things will get worse and it will take much longer to deal with them. It is often shortened to a stitch in time. A small tear will mean you will need only a few stitches to repair it. For example, fixing the leak is like a stitch in time and costs only ₹50. But you will spend 1000 rupees to replace the tap. Check your heart now when you're young. A stitch in time will save 9 when you're old. Teach your child to speak truth. A stitch in time will save them from the prison tomorrow. Feel or look like $1 million. Feel very happy. Look very attractive. If you feel like $1 million, you feel extremely good, often because you're doing something rarely or beyond your usual capability. I felt like $1 million in the new suit. She looks like $1 million with that hairstyle. I felt like $1 million when I stepped on the stage to receive my prize. Once in a blue moon. Rarely, almost never. A blue moon is the second of 2 full moons in the same month, which happens rarely. He has a very nice car, but he drives it once in a blue moon. My husband cooks for me once in a blue moon. The tennis star wins a match once in a blue moon. My mother visits me once in a blue moon. Be on the tip of someone's tongue, meaning cannot remember a word or a name, although you know it. You can almost remember it, but not right away. What's the name of that girl there? Wait a second, it's on the tip of my tongue. Yes, her name is Mary. The answer to the quiz was on the tip of his tongue, but the time ran out. The answer was on the tip of Raja's tongue, but Sheila raised her hand and answered it. Pop the question. To ask someone to marry you. It is usually the man who pops the question to a woman. I have decided to pop the question to Radha before I leave for the US. I have to pop the question to her before her family gets her married off. I was shocked when he popped the question at dinner last night. Pull someone's leg. Tease someone by saying something shocking as a joke. If you pull someone's leg, you tell him or her something that is not true as a joke. He said he won a lottery, but I think he was just pulling my leg. I am not marrying anyone else. I was just pulling your leg. Don't cry. Your puppy is not lost. I was just pulling your leg. Put all your eggs into one basket. To depend totally on one single person or course of action. If you put all your money in one bag and it is stolen, then you lose everything. To risk all you have in a single venture or purpose. If it fails, you will have no other possibilities left. I know you really want to go to Harvard University, but don't put all your eggs into one basket. Apply to a few other colleges too. I'll invest my money in several companies, not just one. I don't want to put all my eggs into one basket. Put yourself in someone's shoes. Try to understand someone's situation. If you put yourself in someone's shoes, you try to understand what his or her situation is like and think about it as if you are in the same situation. As an actor, you must put yourself in that character's shoes. What would you have done? Put yourself in his shoes. If it was your son, would you let him smoke? Rain, cats and dogs. If you say it's raining cats and dogs, you mean it is raining very heavily. They didn't cancel the game even though it was raining cats and dogs. Even if it rains cats and dogs tomorrow, he will go to work as usual. Shake a leg. Hurry up or do something quickly. If you say shake a leg to someone, you tell him to hurry, do something more quickly, or start to do something right now. Shake a leg, we are late for school. We better shake a leg or we will miss the bus. So far, so good. Things have been going well until now. If you say so far, so good, you mean everything has been happening successfully up till now. Have you understood the idioms we have done? So far, so good. This expression is used often when you think there might be a problem soon. The exams have been so far so good, but I have 2 more tests tomorrow. I reached the theatre on time thinking so far so good, but the show was tomorrow. Time will tell. If you say time will tell, you mean that you will not know whether something is good or bad until sometime in the future. Time will tell that you have made the best choice of buying TVC Speak English in 30 days. When you begin to impress everyone with your speech, you will realize that. Whether we elected the right person, only time will tell. I don't see any problems in our decision, but time will tell. Only time will tell if the medicines will cure your problem. Turn over a new leaf. Start to do something again in a better way, forgetting the past errors. If you turn over a new leaf, you will try to become a better person. You turned over a new leaf and decided to study English because you want to progress in life. He almost died of smoking too much and had to turn over a new leaf to survive. She decided to turn over a new leaf after failing in her exam. The prison term was not enough to make him turn over a new leaf. The broken marriage made her turn over a new leaf as she had to earn for a living now. Turn your back on. Not help, even though someone needs help. How can you turn your back on me when I need help to pass this test? The mayor turned his back on the citizens who had come to give a petition. The doctor turned his back on the patient because he did not have enough money. Here are some business idioms you can use. Bail a company out. To help or rescue a company with financial problems. The government bailed out the bank in order to maintain stability in the economy. A calculated risk, an action that may fail or succeed. Float a loan, to loan someone money. Have a stake in something, means to have part ownership of a company or other business. To carry a motion, means to support an idea. To defeat a motion, means to disable an idea. Have the floor, means to be able to speak in a meeting. You make a motion to make a suggestion or proposal at a meeting. You second a motion when you agree with a proposal made by someone else. You table a discussion to postpone the discussion. You take minutes. The secretary writes down the proceedings of a meeting. He writes the minutes. Knock down the price of something, to lower the price of a product. Land an account, to get a customer. Line of products, a group or category of products that are similar to each other. Our company will introduce a new line of products in the autumn. Make a cold call, to visit or telephone a potential but unknown customer from a list of people. Make an offer, to make a financial proposal for a product or service. Preferred customer, a customer who does a lot of business with you. Sell like hotcakes, to sell very quickly. As easy as ABC, very easy. Learning how to use a computer was as easy as ABC for the children. Back to basics, an approach in education which uses traditional ideas or methods that have been successful in the past. The teacher believed that back to basics was important in her classroom, and the parents were very happy with the results. Brainstorm something, a group of people trying to develop an idea. call the roll. Call the names of students on a roll and usually expect them to answer if they are there. Catch up to someone. Move fast or work round the clock to reach someone or something that is ahead of you. Idioms related to school. Copycat. Someone who copies the work of another. Count heads. Count the number of people. Cover a lot of ground. Complete a lot of the syllabus material in a class. To cut class, not go to class. Draw a blank. Get no response from someone when you ask them a question. Drop out of school. Stop attending school. Eager beaver. Someone who works very hard and is very enthusiastic. A few idioms on relationships. Ask for someone's hand in marriage. Ask someone to marry you. After dating his girlfriend for several years, he finally asked for her hand in marriage. Blind date. A date where two people who have never met before. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. When you are away from someone you love them even more. Actions speak louder than words. What a person actually does is more important than what they say they will do. An empty purse frightens away friends. When one's financial situation deteriorates, friends tend to disappear. A fool and his money are easily parted. A foolish person usually spends money carelessly. A friend in need is a friend indeed. Someone who helps you when you are in trouble. A man is known by the company he keeps. A person's character is judged by the type of people with whom they spend their time. A rolling stone gathers no moss. If a person keeps moving from place to place, they gain neither friends nor possessions. Another interpretation is that by moving often, one avoids being tied down. A stumble may prevent a fall. Correcting a small mistake may help you to avoid making a bigger one. Advice is least heeded when most needed. When a problem is serious, people often do not follow the advice given. Beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. Different people have different tastes. Better be alone than in bad company. Be careful in the choice of the people you associate with. Better late than never. It is better to do something even if it is late than not do it at all. Blood is thicker than water. Family relationships are stronger than relationships with other people. Distance makes the heart grow fonder. When you are separated from the person you love, your feelings are even stronger. Don't dig your grave with your own knife and fork. Do something yourself which causes your own downfall. Failure teaches success. It means that only when you go through a tough time or make mistakes, only then you understand how to attain success. Familiarity breeds contempt. Knowing somebody very well may lead to a lack of respect for them. God helps those who help themselves. Only those people who are willing to put in an effort are supported by God. You will succeed only if you put in the effort. Half a loaf is better than none. You should be grateful for something, even if it is not as much as you wanted. Haste makes waste. If something is done too quickly, it may be done carelessly and need to be redone. He who knows nothing doubts nothing. It is another way of saying ignorance is bliss. He who plays with fire gets burnt. If you behave in a risky way, you are likely to have problems. He who laughs best, who laughs last. Don't express your joy or your triumph too soon. Health is wealth. Health is more important and essential than wealth. Home is where the heart is. You call home the place where people you love are. If you want a friend, be a friend. If you expect others to behave in a good manner, then you firstly need to do so yourself. It never rains, but it pours. Misfortunes usually come in large numbers. It takes all sorts to make a world. People vary in character and abilities, and this is a good thing. To kill the goose that laid the golden egg, meaning to destroy something that would be a source of wealth or success. Kindness begets kindness. If you are kind to people, they will be kind to you. Let bygones be bygones. Let us forgive and forget past quarrels. Lightning never strikes in the same place twice. An unusual event is not likely to occur again in exactly the same circumstances. Like father, like son. A son's character can be expected to resemble his father's. Love is blind. A person in love does not see the faults of the person he or she loves. Many hands make light work. Sharing work makes work easier. No news is good news. If the news was bad, we would hear of it. Since we have heard nothing, we can assume that all is well. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. You cannot expect to achieve anything if you don't take risks. Once bitten, twice shy. After an unpleasant experience, people are careful to avoid something similar. One man's wine is another man's poison. People don't always like the same things. Opportunity seldom knocks twice. Don't miss opportunities that come along. Out of sight, out of mind. Once out of the eyesight, the work or the person loses importance. Penny wise, pound foolish. This refers to a person who is careful about spending small amounts of money but is not careful about spending large amounts of money. People who live in glass houses should not throw stones. One should not criticize others for faults similar to one's own. Practice makes perfect. Doing something repeatedly is the only way to become good at it. Practice what you preach. Do yourself what you advise others to do. Prevention is better than cure. It is easier to prevent something from happening than to repair the damage or cure the disease later. Put all your eggs in one basket. Risk everything by relying on one plan, by putting all one's money in one business. Rome was not built in a day. It takes a long time to do a job properly. You should not expect to do it quickly. The end justifies the means. Wrong or unfair methods may be used if the result of the action is good. The more you have, the more you want. It merely means humans are greedy. The proof of the pudding is in the eating. The real value of something can be judged only after it has been tried or tested. Time is money. Time is valuable and should not be wasted. Too many cooks spoil the broth. If too many people are involved in something, it will not be done properly. Two wrongs do not make a right. It is wrong to harm someone because they have harmed you. Variety is the spice of life. Walls have ears. Be careful, people could be listening. Waste not, want not. If you never waste anything, you will have it when you really need it. What the eyes doesn't see, the heart doesn't grieve over. If a person doesn't know about something, it cannot have them. When the cat's away, the mice play. People misbehave when their boss or the person in authority is absent. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. You should adopt the customs of the people or country you are visiting and behave in the same way. Where there is life, there is hope. This means that hope springs eternal. Where there is a will, there is a way. A person with determination will find a way of doing something. You can catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. Kind words or actions are like honey and more effective than harsh ones which are like vinegar. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. You can't make old people change their ideas or ways of doing things. You reap what you sow. What you receive or whatever happens is a result of your own actions. Friends, you scratch my back and I'll scratch yours. You help me and I'll help you. Have a nice day and we'll see you tomorrow.
So, did you enjoy learning about idioms and proverbs? I'm sure you did. And I'm hoping you are all set to add that extra sugar and spice to your English speaking skills. Start using them in your day-to-day communication and the results are guaranteed. Everyone will definitely learn something from you. All the best. See you tomorrow. Till then, bye.
नहीं है अब तो सोच सोच के जीना, हमको तो अब कोई भी रोक सके ना। नहीं है अब तो सोच सोच के जीना, हमको तो अब कोई भी रोक सके ना। हौसला है दिल में, आंखों में सपने, मिलाने हैं अब वक्त से कदम अपने। चलो तुम साथ चलो, बढ़ो तुम साथ बढ़ो, आशाओं की फलक पर चलो दिन रात चलो। चलो तुम साथ चलो, बढ़ो तुम साथ बढ़ो, ज्ञान की रोशनी में खिलो दिन रात खिलो। कुछ पाने की चाहत हो जहाँ, सपनों की आहट हो जहाँ, हमको तो अब है वो जुनून, पाना है हर वो सुकून। राहों में रहमत के अब है निशान, बदलेगा अब तो अपना ये जहां, अपना ये जहां। पलकों पर सजे हैं अरमान, पाना है अब वो आसमां, खुशियों की खुशबू हो जहां, मंजिल है अब तो वहां। होगा ना कोई भी अब बेजुबान, जिंदगी ने पाई एक नई सुबह, एक नई सुबह। चलो तुम साथ चलो, बढ़ो तुम साथ बढ़ो, आशाओं की फलक पर चलो दिन रात चलो। चलो तुम साथ चलो, बढ़ो तुम साथ बढ़ो, ज्ञान की रोशनी